Yeah, let's go. Man, dude. Super Bowl favorites is just insane to me. Like, I grew up pretty much like with them being like, third or fourth in the division. And now they're Super Bowl favorites. It's crazy to think about. But this team definitely still has, it's got its pluses and minuses. Obviously, this man right here, Josh Allen, is a contender for MVP. Excellent receiving core. They obviously have improved the offensive line with the addition of Roger Saffold. But definitely the big question mark up front is lack of depth. And there's been some injuries already this offseason. So that is a concern. They definitely need to work on depth up front. And then running back now, they seem to have a committee. We seem to have figured out a lot with Singletary. Did well late in the year, kind of taking on a lot of the carries, but he struggles as a pass catcher. So insert James Cook as a pass catcher. The man wheel routed Alabama for 60-yard touchdowns quite a few times in college. So I'm excited to see how they use him. And then on the defensive side, they had a defensive line that was kind of an interesting one to look at because they were good at getting the pressure on the quarterback in most cases. And they could stop the run in most cases. But against good run games, they got absolutely trampled, especially by the Titans and Colts. And they only had 5 sacks all year against playoff teams. So how do you fix that? Well, they added a few bigger, meatier men, Matt.
Bigger, meatier men.
To kind of help fix that. Meanwhile, I'm battling with my mic here. But added some to them like Jordan Phillips to help stop the run. And then in the pass rush, they simply just needed a closer. They needed someone more speed to get someone like Patrick Mahomes down because Mahomes could pretty much run away from the defensive line last year. That man is Von Miller. I'm so excited to have him on the defense. He is going to play very well. He just needs to stay healthy and make it to the playoffs. In linebackers, Matt Milano still back. He needs to stay healthy because the defense is lost without him. And then Tremaine Edwards is in a contract year. It'll be interesting to see how he plays. Corner is the biggest question mark on this whole team. Tre'Davious White's recovering from a torn ACL. He needs to get back and play well. They need to take it easy on him until he's ready because they need him for the playoffs for sure. They sorely missed him against the Chiefs last year. And then the second corner spot is a massive question mark. They drafted Kaiir Elam in the first round to fill that spot. So far in camp, results haven't been great, but he's also going up against tough receivers. So is it a product of the receivers or is he really struggling? Actually, 6th-round pick Christian Benford has actually outperformed him at times. So that's a huge question mark. They need to find solutions there. Safety tandem of Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer are good as always. They need to stay healthy as well. So yeah, basically a lot of strengths here. Matt, I know I took this one myself, but it's all in line for this team. I mean, this is definitely the most exciting year to go into. I'm also nervous at the same time because there's a lot of expectations. Get to see this team play more often than I usually do. So very excited for the season. Feels like we're division favorites, and hopefully we pan out.
So I just want to let you go there for a little bit. But you said everything that I needed to say, but I'm just going to throw in a couple other things. So obviously Josh Allen, one of the favorite, or I think he is the favorite for MVP. They're the favorite for the Super Bowl. They got to live up to those expectations. That's a lot of weight on a team that hasn't performed well deep in the playoffs. So I love the Bills. I've trashed on them for years, literally just because of you, Justin. But I do deep down
really
actually like the Bills. I mean, I love James Cook draft, or them drafting him because Singletary, he's hit or miss to me. Zach Moss has not lived up to expectations. Getting him, he has some real promise. So
Yeah.
got a pass. Like you obviously have a pass game. Josh Allen can run the ball, and you get another running back that can step in there and actually be able to run. And then defensively, Von Miller's huge. My only question mark is he is getting older, and he's hasn't been the focal point of a defensive line in a while. But since he got traded after his Halloween party to the Rams, but like he had it easy last year, and he's still like he had a decent year, but he didn't live up to Von Miller expectations. So maybe he gets back to that. Maybe he doesn't, but it's still an upgrade from what they had last year.
Yeah.
When he's healthy, he's gonna eat.
Yeah.
Ed
And
Oliver to me just needs to step up a little bit more. They now have
Mhm.
depth behind him, so it's not just him, but
Yeah.
he's got to take that next step and be who he was in Houston. Um,
All indications of camp so far seem to be saying yes to that. He has been
um,
crazy good.
Elam, personally, I really like him. I was actually hoping he'd go to the Bengals. I'm okay with how things turned out, but Jamar Chase struggled last year in camp and in the preseason. He ended up being one of the best receivers in the NFL. So I don't put too much stock into right now. My thing is week 4, you got to figure it out a little bit to be able to succeed. So that's my
Absolutely.
cutoff line for him. I'm glad to hear that they got Christian Benford come into play, because if Elam doesn't, he will, or at least for a little bit, and then they can swap back. But did Poyer get hurt for a while, or was he only hurt for a little bit?
He's hurt for probably a lot of the preseason. But so far it's optimistic he'll be back by week 1.
Yeah. So he'll be back, and then it's health in the secondary. They got
Absolutely.
to keep what they have, and if White gets hurt, if Elam gets hurt, or Benford gets hurt, they got nobody after that.
Yeah.
They're pretty top heavy when it comes to corners. So they're going to have to rely on Von Miller's pass rush to force some turnovers. Um, and overall, they just got to get out of their own way. They
Yep.
had a shot. They had the team, and they had a shot to beat um, Kansas
The
City last
Chiefs
year, but it was because of a stupid coin flip that it decided it. So got the wrong end of that coin flip,
still have
but
not recovered from that game, by the way.
as a Bengals fan, I hate to say it, but Bills are favorites. We've talked a lot about the Bills. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's go.